An 18-year-old from Finland has taken the basketball world by storm. His nickname, Slim Jesus. His game, a blend of Lauri Markkanen's size, Jaren Jackson Jr.'s defense, and a touch of Victor Wembanyama's length. Already dunking on Nikola Jokic, hitting clutch threes against Serbia, and leading his team to a Peach Jam title in the United States, scouts aren't just intrigued, they're calling him a future #1 pick. The question is, are we witnessing the birth of Europe's next NBA superstar? Or is this just hype waiting to collapse? Today, we're breaking down Miikka Muurinen's rise, from his childhood in Finland to dominating AAU hoops in the US, to becoming the youngest X Factor at EuroBasket 2025. But before we dive in, if you're feeling this kind of content, consider hitting that like and subscribe to join the iCall Game community. It really helps the channel grow. To understand Miikka's rise, you have to go back to Finland. Basketball isn't the #1 sport there. That title belongs to hockey. But in the Muurinen household, basketball wasn't just a sport, it was a way of life. Miikka's father, Kimmo, suited up for Finland's men's national team. His mother, Jenny, played at North Carolina before representing Finland's women's national squad. This wasn't a kid discovering the game from YouTube highlights. This was a child raised in the gym, surrounded by parents who lived and breathed basketball. By 15, Miikka was already too big for local competition, standing 6'10" with guard-like fluidity. That's when he made a bold move, leaving Finland for Spain, joining EuroBasket Madrid, a respected program known for producing high-level players. Scouts first took notice there, but it was his next move to the US that truly put him on the international radar. Recruiting buzz around Miikka Muurinen exploded when he landed at Sunrise Christian in Kansas. At 6'11", he wasn't just a big body. He could block shots, switch onto guards, and stretch the floor with threes. He didn't blend in, he stood out, catching the attention of scouts nationwide. After Sunrise, Miikka took another leap, moving to AZ Compass Prep in Arizona, one of America's premier basketball academies. Compass has produced multiple NBA draft picks, and Miikka didn't just fit in, he thrived, continuing to refine his unique combination of size, skill, and versatility. But the real breakout came that summer in 2024 at Peach Jam, the ultimate proving ground for future NBA stars. Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards all sharpened their reputations here, and Miikka made sure he left his mark. Suiting up for Bradley Beal Elite, Miikka dominated the championship game. He scored 21 points on 8 of 11 shooting, hit 4 clutch threes, grabbed 3 rebounds, and swatted 2 shots. Every time the ball touched his hands, it felt like a potential highlight. By the end of the tournament, he had officially gone from a promising European prospect to a 5-star recruit, firmly ranked in the top 10 of the class of 2026. Peach Jam is notorious for exposing weaknesses in young players, but Miikka appeared almost flawless. Scouts from Duke, Kentucky, UCLA, and other top programs were reportedly scribbling notes fervishly, recognizing that this was a talent unlike any other, a European phenom who had mastered the American game before even turning 18. 24/7 Sports National Scouting Director Adam Finkelstein recaps Muurinen's Peach Jam performance with, "We're talking about someone 6'10", 6'11", the splash from behind the three-point line. He puts the ball on the floor and attacks the rim with long strides. He can block shots, he does just about everything." From that point on, the offers poured in. Duke, Kentucky, North Carolina, UCLA, Arkansas, the biggest programs in college basketball. For Finland, this was unprecedented. Lauri Markkanen was a big deal, but Miikka? He's suddenly being talked about in the same breath as Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis when they were teenagers. Now, the hype is one thing, producing against grown men is another. At just 17, Miikka debuted for Finland's senior national team during the Olympic qualifiers, and in one surreal moment, he pulled up and hit a jumper right over DeAndre Ayton. That got attention. Fast forward to EuroBasket 2025. Miikka entered as the youngest player in the entire competition. Finland shocked the continent, making it all the way to the semifinals for the first time in history. And even though he came off the bench, Miikka became their spark plug, a walking highlight reel with dunks, blocks, and transition finishes that had Twitter exploding. He averaged 6.6 points, 1.9 rebounds, and 0.4 blocks in just 11 minutes per game on 60.6% shooting. His standout moment came in the EuroBasket semifinal against Germany when he scored 12 points and grabbed 2 rebounds, but the numbers only tell part of the story. It was his highlight reel dunks against Lithuania and Great Britain that truly electrified the arena. For his play, Miikka was awarded the inaugural EuroBasket Rising Star Award, officially marking him as one of Europe's elite young talents. And remember, he was still in high school. So let's talk about playstyle. At 6'11" with a 7'2" wingspan, Miikka physically compares to guys like Jaren Jackson Jr. or Jonathan Isaac. But the difference? He moves like a wing. He runs the floor in transition, Euro steps around defenders, and blocks shots from impossible distances. On offense, he's deadly in transition. With those long strides, every fast break feels like it could end in a Dunk of the Year candidate. Against Georgia, he signaled for a lob, Lauri Markkanen tossed it up, and Miikka hammered it home with a reverse. Against Serbia, he sprinted the length of the floor and finished a two-handed dunk in stride. He covers ground like few players his size. Off the ball, his IQ shines. He cuts behind defenders, crashes the offensive glass, and punishes anyone who forgets to box out. In EuroBasket, multiple putback dunks showcased just how dangerous he is with his timing and athleticism. Defensively, he's a menace. In one game against Lithuania, he blocked the same player 3 times in 3 completely different situations: a jump shot, a drive, and a weak side rotation. His length and recovery speed completely changed the geometry of the floor. Some analysts are already drawing comparisons to a young Andrei Kirilenko, noting that Miikka brings even more athleticism and explosiveness to the floor. His defensive instincts are remarkably advanced for his age, and his versatility makes him perfect for the modern NBA. Of course, the weakness is clear. His jumper. At U16 Euros, he shot 28% from 3 on high volume. At EuroBasket, he missed his first 6 attempts, but when Finland needed him most, against Serbia, he stepped up. With Jokic sagging off, Miikka buried a clutch 3 to give Finland the lead. Then, minutes later, he hit another in Jokic's face. That's confidence you can't teach. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: hype. We've seen this movie before. Mikey Williams, Sebastian Telfair, Anthony Bennett, teenagers labeled the next big thing, only to flame out. Could Miikka be another cautionary tale? Skeptics point to his lack of strength. At 205 pounds, he's still wiry. He bites on pump fakes defensively. His decision-making isn't always polished. And yes, his shooting consistency remains unproven. What really sets Miikka apart isn't just his size or skill, it's his mentality. Coaches at AZ Compass Prep describe him as fiercely competitive, disciplined, and obsessed with improvement. He's the type of player who studies game film obsessively, shows up early, and doesn't leave until every shot, rotation, and defensive assignment is perfected. Lauri Markkanen is already a believer. In an interview, he said about Miikka, "He brings a different dynamic to our defense and offense with his length and athleticism. He's a skilled player and has played his role really well, bringing the energy off the bench. We are grateful to have him." Brian Windhorst also weighed in, adding that Muurinen is going to be a top recruit and that numerous programs are competing for his commitment. Comparisons are inevitable. Lauri Markkanen was Finland's breakout star, Luka Doncic dominated Europe as a teenager, and Kristaps Porzingis made the leap from international prospect to NBA sensation. Where Miikka differs is his combination of size, athleticism, and skill. Markkanen was more of a traditional stretch big. Doncic is a guard-forward hybrid with elite IQ. Porzingis had elite length and shooting. Miikka blends all 3 elements. He has wing-like agility with near 7-foot length, and he can guard multiple positions, stretch the floor, and finish above the rim in ways most players his size can't. Strengths first. Miikka's athleticism is elite. His lateral quickness, vertical explosion, and wingspan allow him to impact both ends of the court. He runs the floor like a guard, finishes above the rim, and recovers on defense with speed that baffles even NBA caliber opponents. His basketball IQ is advanced for his age. He reads defensive rotations, times his rebounds, and knows when to crash the board versus when to stay in transition. His clutch shooting, highlighted by that game-winning 3 against Serbia, shows confidence and poise. Limitations? Like any elite young prospect, Miikka has areas to refine. His shooting mechanics, especially off the catch, still need consistency. Decision-making under pressure can be risky. He occasionally over-dribbles or forces passes, and while his length and agility are elite, he's still building the strength to consistently absorb contact against NBA-caliber bigs. His youth and relative inexperience also show at times. As Sports Illustrated noted, he took a swing at Serbian guard Marko Guduric and was lucky to avoid a tech that could have tipped the scales of this matchup back in Serbia's favor. At the highest level of international hoops, his immaturity does show. So, what's next? He's finishing high school, then college. Every top blue blood program is knocking at his door. ESPN has him as a top 10 player in the class of 2026. Brian Windhorst even reported that scouts are privately projecting him as a future top 5 NBA draft pick, maybe even number 1 in 2027. Imagine the 2027 draft. NBA commissioner walks to the podium. The number 1 pick is announced. Miikka Slim Jesus Muurinen from Finland. How crazy would that be? Of course, skepticism is healthy. The NBA has seen highly touted teenagers flame out before. Physical tools aren't enough without refinement, work ethic, and adaptation to higher levels of play. At just 205 pounds, Miikka is still developing. His defensive reactions can be refined, and his shot consistency will be critical against NBA defenders. But the difference between Miikka and past cautionary tales is mentality. He embraces criticism, and has already proven capable against grown men on the international stage. So here's the question. Is Miikka Muurinen the next great European NBA superstar? Is Slim Jesus destined to be the number 1 pick in 2027? Or is the hype train moving too fast? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is Slim Jesus the real deal, or just another highlight reel hero? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.